Good morning to everyone. In previous lecture, we have seen the introduction about object-oriented analysis and design. Now we are going to see the object basics such as inheritance, polymorphism, generalization and specialization, link and association, aggregation, encapsulation and data hiding. Initially, we have to focus inheritance. Inheritance is a mechanism which is used to create a new class from the existing class, where the new class is also known as child class or a subclass or a derived class. Then the existing class also known as parent class or a base class or a superclass. Here the subclass or a derived class can derive from the superclass and also add its own attributes and methods. Then benefits of inheritance. The inheritance supports the reusability concept. That is, we are going to reuse the code and design rather than create a new code and design for each and every time. So save a lot of time and effort. So these are the benefits why we are going to use a inheritance concept. Then types of inheritance. Single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hybrid inheritance and hierarchical inheritance. So initially we have to focus single inheritance. Here a derived class can derive from only one base class. The multiple inheritance. Here the derived class can inherit the properties and methods from more than one base class. And multi-level inheritance. Here the derived class can derive from the base class, which in turn it can be derived from the some other class and so on. And fourth one is hybrid inheritance. Here specify the combination of both multiple and multi-level inheritance and it form a lattice structure. And finally hierarchical inheritance. Here we are going to consider the one base class. From the one base class or a super class, we are going to derive several subclasses. And each and every subclass can subsequently have different subclasses and so on. So here we are going to maintain the level of the class and its form and tree structure. So these are the types of inheritance. And next is the representation of the types of inheritance. We can take it as a single inheritance. Here we are going to specify one base class and derived class. So this is the representation of single inheritance. The derived class can inherit the properties and methods from the only one base class. That is single inheritance. Then multiple inheritance. Here we have to specify two base class, that is base 1 and base 2, and then one derived class. So this is the representation of multiple inheritance. The derived class can inherit the properties and methods from more than one base class, that is two base class here, base 1 and base 2. And third is multi-level inheritance. We can take it as a base class and derived class, that is derived class 1 and derived class 2. So this is the first level inheritance. So this is the second level inheritance. So this is representation of multi-level. So where the derived class can derive from the some other class, which in turn it can be derived from the some other class. Likewise, we have to specify the representation of multi-level. And hybrid inheritance. Class A, class B, class C, then class D. So this is the example or representation of hybrid inheritance. So here we have to specify the combination of both multiple and multi-level. So we have to concentrate class B, class C, class D, specify the multiple inheritance. Suppose we have to take it as a class A, class C, class D branch, so they specify the multi-level inheritance. So here we can specify the both multiple and multi-level inheritance. So this is a general representation of hybrid inheritance. And last one is hierarchical inheritance. Here we have to specify the class, that's the base class. There are several subclasses. Class B, class C, class D. So these are the derivative class or subclasses. Class E. Likewise, each and every subclass can have a subsequent subclasses. So these are the subclasses or derivative classes. So from the one base class, we are going to derive the several subclasses. It form a tree structure. So here we are going to maintain the level of the classes. So this is a representation of the types of inheritance. And next thing is example for each and every type of inheritance. We can take it as a single inheritance. The student, it's a base class. Then the student having scholarship. So this is the example of single inheritance. Here the student having scholarship is a derivative class which inherits the properties and methods from only one base class called as a student. And then multiple inheritance. Tire is a derivative class which inherits the properties and methods from two base class, that is wheel and rubber. So this is an example of multiple inheritance. And third one is multi-level inheritance. We can take it as a superclass, that is animal. From the animal, we are going to specify the derivative class mammal. From the mammal, we are going to divide the subclass, that is cat, dog or human. We can take it as a cat. So cat is a derivative class which can derive from the mammal class, and which in turn it can be derived from the some other class called as an animal, and so on. So it is a multi-level. So generally here the inheritance defines is a relationship. We can take it as an example of multi-level. Here the cat is a mammal, or we can specify the dog is a mammal. Our human is a mammal. So likewise we have to specify or define the inheritance is a relationship. And fourth one is hybrid inheritance. We can take it as an example. Player, game, and achieve result. First we have to say a shape or figure. From the figure can achieve result. Okay, so this is the example of hybrid inheritance. Here we are going to specify both multiple and multi-level inheritance. So this area focus multi-level. And suppose we want to consider the shapes, game and result, specify the multiple inheritance. The last one was hierarchical inheritance. Here we can take it as a vehicle example. Specify whether it's a land vehicle or a water vehicle or an air vehicle. Suppose if it's a land vehicle, we have to specify either bus or car. Suppose if it's a water vehicle, we have to specify either ship or boat. If it's an air vehicle, we have to specify either aeroplane or a helicopter. So likewise we are going to specify the example for hierarchical inheritance. So here we are going to maintain the tree structure. Next thing is polymorphism. Polymorphism defines ability to take multiple forms. That is, the same operation may behave differently on different classes. That's the concept of polymorphism. And let us consider the example for polymorphism. Shape class use a draw function or draw method and can use the subclasses circle, then rectangle. So here we have to set two subclasses circle and rectangle, and we have to use only the common function draw. So this is a common for the two classes, class circle and rectangle. While the circle class invokes the draw method, it will draw the circle. Likewise, the rectangle class invokes the draw method, it will draw the rectangle. Likewise, the same operation, the draw method, may behave differently on different classes. So this is the concept of polymorphism. Suppose we can take it as the another method, this find area. Find area. So this is a common for the two classes, circle and rectangle. Similarly, the circle class invokes a find area method. It finds the area of the circle. Likewise, the rectangle class invokes a find area method. It will find the area of the rectangle. So likewise, we are going to specify the polymorphism concept. Next thing is generalization and specialization. Generalization and specialization is a hierarchy of relationship among the classes. In generalization, the common characteristics of the different classes can be combined into one generic class. That is, the several subclasses can be combined and to form one generic class or one superclass. So that's the concept of generalization. In specialization, it's the reverse process of generalization. That is, from the one superclass or from the one main class or base class, we are going to derive the several subclasses. Or we can specify the different specialized classes. That's the concept of specialization. So in generalization, it defines is a kind of relationship. We can take it as an example, the same as a hierarchical inheritance. That is vehicle. So we have to segregate whether it is a land vehicle or water vehicle or air vehicle. And if it is a land vehicle, we have to specify either car or bus. If it is a water vehicle, we have to specify either ship or boat. If it is an air vehicle, we have to specify either aeroplane or a helicopter. So likewise, we are going to specify the generalization. So this is the triangle notation which is used to specify the generalization. So here, generally the generalization focuses or like as the bottom-up approach. So representation. Specialization is a top-down approach. From the one base class, we are going to specify the different specialized class. That's the concept of specialization. So here the generalization specifier is a kind of relationship. Is a kind of relationship. We can take it as this example. From this example, we have to define is a kind of relationship. That is, the car is one type of land vehicle. And a ship is a type of water vehicle. So likewise, we have to specify is a kind of relationship. Car is a land vehicle. So likewise, we have to specify that is a generalization relationship. And next thing is link and association. So link specify the connection between two or more objects. It's called as a link. It's an instance of association. We can take it as an example for the linkers. Professor class and a book class. You have to specify the instance for each and every class. Here, the P is the instance of the professor class and B book class. Here how to specify the association using solid line path. So here how to specify the association name. For example, I have to specify the road. So the professor and book can link with the road association name. So how we are going to perform the read statement with the help of the optional black triangle. So this is the notation which is used to indicate in which direction we are going to perform the read statement. So here we have to specify that professor wrote a book. So here we have to specify the multiplicity also. For example, 1, 2, 3. One professor can wrote 3 books. So likewise we are going to specify the relationship between the two classes. And also we have to specify the role of the association. Here we have to specify author and textbook. So likewise we have to specify the role of the association also. So this is the example for link. Then association. Association is a type of relationship among the objects and classes. Here we have to consider the 3 different type of relationship, that is unary, binary and then ternary. So unary specify it connects that is it connects objects of the same class. That's the unary. Binary in the sense it connects object of the 2 classes. Ternary in the sense it connects object of the 3 or more classes. So likewise we are going to segregate the different types of relationship in association. We can take it as an example for each category. Unary, we can take it as an example class A, class B. Here we have to specify the dependency symbol. So when the 2 classes are A and B, here the A knows about the B and B does not know about the A information. So this is the one kind of unary relationship. It's a one-way communication. That is A dependent on B, but B does not depend on A. The second thing was binary association. For example, we have to consider person, then car. So here we have to specify a solid line between the 2 classes and we have to specify the association name. For example, can drive. A person can drive a car. So likewise we are going to specify the 2-way communication between the classes. So this is a binary relationship. And third one is ternary relationship. How to consider a class and student and you. So this can be attached to the diamond symbol. So this is the representation of ternary. Here you have to specify or it connects more than 3 classes. 3 or more than 3 classes. This is a representation of ternary association or ternary relationship. So in association, the cardinality is one of the main issue. So he specified how many instances of a single class associate word are related to the one instance of a associated classes. So this is the issue of cardinality. So you have to clearly mention the cardinality. And the cardinality ratios of association. So specify the instance of cardinality ratios of association. Here we have to specify the 3 different cardinality ratios of association. That is 1 to 1, 1 to many, many to many. In 1 to 1, a single object of class A is associated with a single object of class B. That's a 1 to 1. 1 to many in the sense, a single object of class A is associated with many objects of class B. That is 1 to many. And many to many in the sense, an object of class A is associated with many objects of class B and vice versa. So likewise, we are going to specify the cardinality ratios of association. And next thing is aggregation. Aggregation is one of the relationship among the classes and objects. Here, the aggregation object is an object which contains one or more other objects. So this is aggregation objects. Here it specified either has a or a part of relationship. We can take it as an example for this. Call object. has a engine, wheel, footer, etc. So I have to specify the engine here. So this is the notation of aggregation. So in this example, engine is a part of a car or the car has the engine. So likewise we have to specify the has a or a part of relationship in the aggregation. So in aggregation have the two things. One is the physical containment and a conceptual containment. The physical containment specify the physical components. We can take it as a system or computer example. So this computer can have a lot of components such as monitor, CPU, keyboard, mouse, etc. So this is example for physical containment. The conceptual containment specify the SAT model has a SAT. So it specifically has a relationship. So like this we have to specify the two things in our aggregation, physical and conceptual containment. Generally we can take it as an example of aggregation as a spreadsheet. So spreadsheet can have a number of cells. So the cells are objects which contains either a text or images or audio video text files, video files. So like this we have to specify the different example for aggregation. And then encapsulation and data hiding. Encapsulation is the process of binding attributes and methods within a class. Through encapsulation we can achieve a data hiding or information hiding because it hides the internal details of the class from the outside. It permits the access only through the interface. So this is the encapsulation and data hiding or information hiding. The next step is static binding, dynamic binding, object persistence and meta classes. So these are the other things we are going to see. The first thing is static binding. So here it determines at which process to be invoked during the compile time. It's called as a static binding. In dynamic binding we have to determine at which process to be invoked during the runtime. So likewise we have to specify static and dynamic binding. And third thing is object persistence. Generally the persistence specify the lifetime of an object or the duration of an object. So here the object persistence is used to store the attributes, methods and relationship between the objects for the purpose of later use. That's called as the object persistence. And last one is meta classes. The class belongs to class or the class about the classes is called as a meta class. Here we can take it as an example for a meta class. Relationship element. Here how to specify the categories. Either is a director relationship or association. It's a director relationship. We have to specify dependency or a generalization. So like this we have to specify the meta classes, class about the classes. This can be shown in the figure. Thank you.